All right. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. It is May 15th. It is an awesome day here in Dallas, Texas. The weather is amazing. A little hot for some, but it's perfect for me. I love this hot weather. Man, it's good to be back. I didn't do a podcast last week. If you guys have been following, I did 3 of them the week before. And so it's been crazy with podcasts, with YouTube videos. And from those podcasts, now it's led to other ones now that I get to be on there. And I get to actually be interviewed instead of me doing the interviewing. So that'll be nice. I don't have to get everything all set up for that. I'm actually going to go on June 7th on Wild Food Company's podcast. And they're going to talk to me and ask me about keto stuff and keto foods and all that good stuff. So anyways, the last 2 weeks, so I went down to Austin. If you guys didn't see the vlog that I put on YouTube on the Myler Flex Podcast YouTube channel, I was down in Austin for the Gary V and On It deal with Aubrey Marcus. They did a big conference, and then the next day on Friday I was there doing like private workstations and different groups and stuff like that, just trying to work on really the whole idea of that conference was more about how can you be happy without money, like really trying to find happiness so that way if you do become successful in your business or whatever it is that you're doing, how you can still be humble within that and still know that, hey, this is really where your true happiness is without money. So it was a really cool conference and definitely got to network and know or get to know a lot of different people. It was really cool. Friday though, that was exciting for me as well because I got to go down there and meet with a guy named Logan Delgado. He goes by Goody Beats on Instagram, and he is a really famous, well-known keto guy. He's got a great YouTube channel. His videos are awesome. Got like 140,000 followers or subscribers, and he was awesome. I had him on the podcast, and the original idea, not only did I want to go down there and really network with him and meet him, but also I wanted him to be the face of my new association that we announced to everybody 2 weeks ago. So NACA, the National Athletic Keto Association. So him and we got a workout at Gold's Gym that morning. We did a shoulder workout, and as we're going through it, I was just talking to him about what NACA is, what my vision is about it, what I want to do, and how we're going to do the first show here at my gym in Dallas here at Next Rep Fitness. And so if you guys missed it, NACA, again, the National Athletic Keto Association, it's kind of like the Arnold, or for people here in Dallas that are really big into fitness, you might go to the Europa Games. And so that's what I have in mind. It's something like that for people that are ketogenic athletes. So if you want to do men's physique, women's figure, men's classic, and then we're going to also bring in, which unfortunately we won't be able to use the times or the points or anything to go towards like CrossFit games, but I want to start something called like NACA Fit, to where we have our own competition that are going to be similar to like a cross training type workout that people will accumulate points for. And so the first show is going to be here in Dallas, October 12th. And Goody Beats, he loved the idea, thought it was awesome. The reason why I'm so passionate about it, as you guys know, I've been a keto coach for 6 years, and the studies over the years that have come out, I mean, especially when you're talking to someone like me that's a very performance-based person, and then what made me change my mind about keto was when I learned from LeBron James, his trainer, about how he implemented keto from the year that he left Miami to go back to Cleveland, and he put Carmelo Anthony and LeBron on it. And now from that point, just the studies that have been going through, like Brett Osborne has done and stuff, with all these athletes from your regular basketball, football to the CrossFitters now. There are a lot of even powerlifters are going towards more of a keto meal plan and lifestyle. So, but even with that being said, and all the studies that are coming out showing the results, there's still a lot of people in the fitness industry that kind of, or even everyday people, that don't really understand what keto is and thinks that keto is kind of like that old school Atkins where you're just eating cheese all the time and bacon with everything and red meat all the time. And that's totally not what a real keto diet is. But they still kind of stick their nose up in the air about it. And so I've just been so passionate about trying to highlight, what keto can really do for your performance as well. Not even just your health and therapy and that type of stuff. It's even just your performance for that person that wants to go to that next level. So I was super excited that Friday when I talked to Goody Beats about it. He said, dude, I'm totally on board. So he was the official face, the ambassador of NACA. And then we got another girl out of Columbia, Missouri. She goes by Balancing Breland, and she's been a really passionate keto coach out there in Columbia. I actually went to college with her husband. He is the baseball coach there at my old college now, and so it's really cool. I've been watching her for the last couple of years, and I just think she was a great person to bring on board that can just reach out to, especially a lot of the women that are, want to challenge themselves a little bit. And I think she's doing a great job at challenging these women to take their fitness and their health to that next level. And then Monday, I had a phone call with a guy named Robert Sykes. He goes by Keto Savage. He's actually the owner of the Keto Brick, which is it really is a brick. It's the size of a brick, and that thing's 1,000 calories, and it's the absolute perfect macros for what you can have. And he's a big time hunter, and so it first kind of started where he was making these things so that way he could be out all day and he could just eat on that and get most of his calories and most of his macros on that while he's eating. But for the most part, all you do is just kind of chop a little bit off. You're not going to eat that whole damn thing in one day for most people. If you're kind of doing a little bit of a keto bulk in a way, you might have a little bit more. But yeah, it's just a nice thing to know that those are the exact macros that you're getting with this keto brick. And he's also a keto bodybuilder as well, and so I really wanted to get him on board. He used to do the Western meal planning, and after the shows he would just feel like crap. And once he switched his meal planning to more of a keto lifestyle, after the shows he felt amazing. Your hormone levels aren't going crazy, unlike the other Western style. You throw your hormones in a whole nother whack dimension, and it's just crazy. So he's changed, and right now he's actually training for another show. I can't remember who he's going to compete with, but he's competing. But we talked to him on Monday. He lives in Arkansas, and had a phone call with him, and I explained to him what NACA was and my vision, and he was totally like, I'm 1,000% on board. I think it's a great mission. I think what you're doing is awesome. The first show is going to be free, and when I mean free, it's going to be free for vendors. It's going to be free for the competitors as well. I'm toting the note on this, and I really am passionate about trying to make this something. So that way in 2020, I hope we can get 3 shows set up somewhere in the country. So that way the first 2 shows will accumulate points, and then the last show will be our championship somewhere. Ideally, I would like it to be at someplace like a KetoCon or a Keto Fest. I'm actually going down to KetoCon June 26th, that weekend. For the show season, that's probably a little too early. I'd like to have the finals more around that October, November time. So we'll try to finalize this, but first we got to make the first one good. First we got to make it where we got enough competitors and people are really engaged in this, and I think we're on the right track. If you are interested and you want to learn more about it, go on our Instagram page, National Athletic Keto, and then it's ASSN_NACA, NAKA. And then also we are finishing the website right now, and that's NACAathletes.com. So that was exciting that I was able to announce that last week or 2 weeks ago with Goody Beats. And let's see, that Saturday I had another really big keto personality. He was the owner of Keto Quest. His name's Jason Whitrock, and we had an awesome podcast. Really chopped it up about his philosophy, how he likes to coach his people and how he uses that programming with Keto Quest. So that was a really good one. And then there was a bonus with that. I didn't know that we were going to go to Logan Sneed, aka Logan Fusion Lean. We were going to his apartment, so I got to meet him, and we really got to getting some thoughts together about the future and what we're trying to do. So now I'm actually working with Logan as well. I'm also with Goody Beats. I decided to partner up with his supplement company as well, American Metabolics. So now not only are we offering all the normal sports nutritional supplements, but now they've got a full keto line that has like the MCTs and everything in there, exogenous ketones, that type of thing. So now I can offer all you guys and my own clients 30% off on all those products. So you can use Keto Cowboy, go on AmericanMetabolics.com and use Keto Cowboy, and you can get 30% off all the products that they have. So I'm really excited that Goody asked me to be a part of that and join their team. So definitely excited about that. Like, see, once I got done with Jason Whitrock, I met a guy. He goes by the Keto Hulk. His name's Michael Wilcoxon, and he is a big boy. He was 6'3", 270 pounds, and probably had about 11% body fat, I would say. He was a big boy. Really, really nice guy. Totally nice guy. I'm actually talking to him about possibly being one of the next faces for NACA. If you're listening to Michael, I want you. He told me that he's probably going to be on board. But that was a good podcast as well. We had to make it a little short because then I had to drive all the way back home to Dallas. And so and then all last week was just tons of meetings and getting things set up and all that. So that's why I didn't have enough time to do a podcast last week. But we're back now, and I'm happy. I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy being able to get some information out to you guys. And it's not always just keto stuff. And I've brought people in that do fitness marketing. I've brought people in that just do regular, personal training, bodybuilding shows. I brought other business owners on here. So, even though you guys may hear that I've started the Fit Keto Cowboy brand and doing all that and really pushing my keto side, I still am a believer for the right people on, the different sports or maybe a paleo meal planning, because keto isn't for everybody and it may not work for you. But I will say, number one, go that direction first, and then we'll go ahead and tweak it after that. So anyways, that is basically my 2-week in review instead of a week review. So let's go ahead and let's get a word from one of our sponsors.
Do you like fresh pressed juices? If so, check out Raw Roots Juices. Spelled R.A. Roots. They are located in Dallas, Texas, but can ship nationwide. So if you're looking for juice cleanse or a daily juice, use this code Myler Flex for 15% off.
All right, so you know what time it is.
What the fitness?
What the fitness? We've got a couple little quick stories here. I was looking around, and did you guys see Mark Cuban Sunday on Shark Tank? He invested in a business that I was like, what are you doing? Because Mark, he is an avid person in fitness. I mean, he works out all the time. I know where he works out, and he gets his blood work done like every 3 months. I mean, he's really, pretty in tune with his body, and he ended up investing $250,000 for 15% of a company called Fat Shack. And what this is a restaurant that they stay open till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they serve sandwiches between 700 to 2,000 calories. Guys, you should see these sandwiches. They are crazy. I mean, crazy. It made me think of, if you guys remember, there was a place down in the West End here in Dallas for a while called Heart Attack Grill. I was reminded of what that name was earlier. Heart Attack Grill. And if you weigh like 350 pounds, you got to eat there for free. And they had some crazy hamburger there that was like, 7,000 calories or something. something. It was insane. Like, and they had the women dress up like nurses and all that stuff. And ironically, the guy, he lived, I think, in Phoenix, Arizona, and he was really overweight, and he ended up dying of a cardiac arrest about 4 or 5 years ago. And so this Fat Shack kind of reminds me of that kind of same philosophy. And I was just really shocked that Mark Cuban went ahead and invested into this. That, like I said, there's 11 of their restaurants, and I think 9 of them are franchisee restaurants. And if I remember correctly, I think they're bringing in like $11 million in sales or something crazy, and I don't know. I'm out here trying to keep the world from getting fat, and Mark Cuban's investing and getting people fat. Vicious cycle. But anyways, let's see, the NBA draft was last night. Well, not the draft, the lottery last night, and some big surprises about that. Zion might be going to New Orleans. I mean, it's more than likely that's his new home for a little bit, and that's going to be exciting. And then, we were talking earlier about just what the next moves might be along the whole league as a whole, and there might be some really good moves that's going to start to even the playing field across the board now and really make basketball more competitive in the NBA. Just a lot more competitive than what it's been for the last 3 or 4 years. So, really, I'm happy. I'm happy that New Orleans is going to get Zion. That's pretty big. Well, let's go ahead and let's listen to the beat of the week. This week is "Light It Up" by Tyga and Chris Brown. All right. That was this week's Beat of the Week, "Light It Up" by Tyga and Chris Brown. All right, now it's time to introduce our guest. He is the founder of Fixe Food. His name is, I'm going to try to get this right, Josh Stramiello. It's close. Let's go ahead and let's give you a little clap right here.
I appreciate that.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I've been working with you guys for, I think, since November, and I'll give you an opportunity to kind of explain a little bit more what your company is about. But it's a company called Fixe Foods, and you guys may have seen me post it on my Instagram pages and even talk about it on here. I don't know. I want to say a home food delivery company, but there's probably a better.
We say lifestyle grocery delivery.
Okay, yeah. Lifestyle grocery delivery company, and so they offer really good, clean, healthy foods. It runs kind of similar to like a Green Chef in a way, or something like that, where they send all the ingredients to your house. But what really caught my eye about it was 3 things. One, that they offer paleo, keto, that one really got me, vegetarian, and then just regular, just general clean eating plans. And then also the price, and then what they do with their money. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand the mic off to you and just kind of explain your history. First of all, it was really interesting when we were talking about your background, because I think that really helps understand how you got this going. So go from there.
I mean, the short version of my life story is, grew up in New Jersey, became a Nets fan. If we end up talking about basketball later.
Yeah, definitely. He's a hooper.
Yeah, moved to Arkansas when I was young, picked up basketball there, and then was a soccer player before that. Ended up doing a little bit of child preaching, so I got my stage presence stuff there. Ended up going to college and law school. I dropped out of law school to go into what we were calling food tech.
Yeah.
Which I see food tech as basically any technology that's improving the way that we eat or the way that we get food. So it's a pretty wide. It could be restaurants, it could be produce management, it could be delivery, it could be inventory management. It's a pretty wide variety of things.
Yeah, I really didn't understand what food tech was really until you were explaining it before.
It's one of those things where everybody uses it, but they don't think about it. It's almost like tap water. How how quickly would the city fall apart if the tap water shut off? But then, like, we don't think about it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
So then I got into that with a couple different startups, and about 9 months ago, I had the inspiration for Fixe. And Fixe comes from a place, for me personally, but then also, like, obviously it's a very common American problem of, all right, I want to get healthy, whether it's New Year's resolution or, you know, you just found out from a doctor that, you know, maybe you're pre-diabetic or you just had a kid, whatever motivation you got, right? You're like, okay, I want to get healthy.
I want to pause real quick. If you guys are Googling Fixe right now, put an E at the end of it.
Yeah, Fixe. It's on the shirt too. I don't know if you're listening.
Yeah, people that are watching live. I got Bethany right there. Hey, how you doing? She's watching.
Hi, Bethany. Fixe food. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead there.
So okay, everyone is so sincere. Everyone means it at day one, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't get healthy in a week. You can't get healthy even in a month. So what we have tried to do with Fixe is look at all of the little decisions, all of the little actions that you have to make from that day that you make the decision that you want to live healthy until the day that you feel healthy. And it's a journey, right?
No, it absolutely is.
You won't see, you know, fat loss advertised as the benefit of Fixe.
Yeah.
Now I've lost 35 pounds since I started Fixe.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was almost 245 back in like July of last year.
Nice.
So I'm below my college playing weight. Like I feel great. But that is not what my goal was. My goal was to understand health. My goal was to get healthy. Fat loss is a byproduct of that. But if people are saying, oh, I want to lose weight, that's not a bad goal, but it's a short-term goal. Yeah. You can't lose weight for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I was pulling up on my phone. I posted this today. It takes 4 weeks for you to see your body change. It takes 8 weeks for your friends and family to see it. It takes 12 weeks for the rest of the world to keep going.
Yeah.
And so, like you're saying, it's this journey, and then most people give up by the first 2 weeks if they don't see anything because they're just thinking weight loss.
So how do we help them, right? The whole world, not to be like a paranoid person or like a conspiracy theorist, but basically the whole world, if you live in America, the whole world is out to get you when it comes to you losing weight. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a McDonald's on every corner, right? When you go into the grocery store because you decided, hey, I'm going to stop eating out so much. When you go into the grocery store, they literally set it up like a maze.
Yep.
And they want you to walk past as many candies and as many packaged foods, and they make it hard. So literally the whole world is out to make you eat more and to make you eat less healthy, because that's where the profit margin is. The profit margin is in the items that are processed. The profit margin is in the items that are packaged. It's not in fresh produce. It's not in lean meat. So how does one person who maybe doesn't have a nutritionist degree, right? How does one person who maybe doesn't have a sports background, right, or a training background? Mm-hmm. And so what we do with Fixe is we want to take the hundreds or thousands of decisions that you'd have to make and reduce it to as small a number as possible. So when someone orders from us, fixefood.com, we let you pick the lifestyle, because we're not about, I think keto's great. I've eaten almost every keto recipe we have. I've tested, I think every recipe we have, or close to it.
Yeah.
I think paleo is great. I think plant-based is great. But we're not selling a lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're selling, you make the decision on how you live. We're just going to make that process easier for you.
Yeah, you're supporting the lifestyle.
We're supporting your healthy lifestyle. Yeah. So, you know, we don't have a chocolate-covered bacon meal plan, right? That's not, every one of them is healthy. For most Americans, any option you pick on our website, you're going to get radically healthier.
Yeah.
Where you might want to talk about the difference between keto or paleo is when you're in the fine-tuning, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially you're talking about NACA, right? And then performance athletes are going to have different needs and going to have a different process going on in their body than somebody who, you know, has a 9-to-5 desk job, and they're lucky if they can get 3 or 4 days of cardio in, on an elliptical. These are different goals.
Yeah.
So what Fixe does is every week we send you a meal plan, and what we've recently started doing, which you may or may not know about, is now we do the individual recipes, but we also do the batch recipes. So
I may not have seen that.
Yeah, it's less than a month old.
Okay.
So when we talk to our customers and we got feedback, because it's an early stage startup, there's a lot of stuff that's there's a lot of stuff that's wrong. We're getting better.
But my wife feels bad because she emails you guys or gives you guys suggestions, and she's like, I feel bad saying hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should try doing that. But but
taken a lot of customer feedback.
I think you should.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what makes you grow.
There's a lot of humility to where we're at as a company. We're not. I think that today I can say with a straight face we're helping people, but the vision of where we want to get is so much better than that. It's really changing people's lives, and we're not there yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
So about a month ago we released a big change, and so now instead of 7 recipes, it's now 3 or 4 recipes. Okay. Because one of the biggest feedback that we got from our customers was they don't have time to be doing 7 recipes in the kitchen. Okay. So even though the price is, frankly, I'll just say, I'll beat my chest on this, our price point is amazing.
I'll go ahead. I was going to bring it up later on, but since we're already on price, I was really happy for you to come on this show, and we can elaborate on this part later, but so that you guys utilize like other third parties like delivery options. And so the Shipt company delivered all our groceries to our house, and so we're unloading them in our kitchen, and we see the receipt, and we're just kind of curious, and we see, and it was like $68 and some change. And I look at my wife, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, we paid like $72, and so I really do think that you guys are.
There's not a better option. There is a price.
And then on top of that, you guys even offer like first time. Like I have the Myler Flex code, so anybody that's a first time a buyer, then they get $5 off that. Yep. So I'm like, how you? And then it's just crazy. I don't know how you make money.
I'll explain. I can. Yeah. We do. I'll explain that, but it's a different model, right? So whenever you. Yeah, it's good. We'll talk. I want to finish the meal plan thing. Real quick.
We'll get back to it.
I'm going to answer. I'm not trying to dodge it.
Yeah.
So now, people are saying we don't have time to do 7 recipes in the kitchen, and the reason we went with 7 was because we wanted people to have as much variance, like in their diet, as possible. And so now it's 3 to 4, but you get the individual recipes, but you also get the batch instructions. So if you wanted to cook all your food for the week in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And
that's huge.
And we put a lot of thank you.
Yeah.
And I think we're one of the first people or first companies that's really tackling that like that.
Yeah.
And so that's the type of intelligence that we're trying to build to where.
And not only is that huge for just time management as well, but for me, I really like to know my macros every day of what I'm eating. So if you're always changing, if you had the 7 meals and you're cooking them out, then you're always changing your macros. But with the batch, you're making this and you know exactly this serving is this much, and I can eat that for 5 days in a row, and I know my macros are going to hit in the right area. So I think when you're that person that's that next level that's trying to get more serious, that's huge, because I can eat the same thing every day.
Yep.
As long as I know that I'm hitting the macros.
Yep. So that was a big change for us, and it really, I think that we've already seen our reorder rate has gone up, and we've gotten positive feedback. So we still have a whole list of things that we want to improve, but that was a big improvement for us in helping people really live the lifestyle. So talk about price point, we have had some conversations with people about would it really matter if it was $5 a meal or $6 a meal or $7 a meal. I think from the market research that we've done, we would still be the cheapest product for the category we're in at $7 a meal, and we would be making a lot more money. But the starting point from where we created this was, how do we build a system that scales, right? And when you do that, the inspiration that I had was Meals on Wheels, and it serves 2 million senior citizens.
Yeah,
and the data is out there. It's all public. They spend about $5.86 per meal.
Really?
And that's subsidized by a lot of donations. So
and I'll also say this: when my wife and I we order the dinners, and that one meal can almost serve 2 people.
There's a lot of food.
Yeah, it's a lot of food. I mean, we pretty much do that 1 week, and that'll give us almost 2 weeks of dinners there.
I believe it. So with Meals on Wheels, you can kind of get into the numbers with them, and they are a charity. They do great work. I have nothing but compliments for them, but they're a logistics company. And even though they don't say that, even though they don't think like that, they have all these distribution centers, they have all these different offices, and they haven't done a massive overhaul of the way they do their fulfillment in the last 20 years. They have small incremental improvements. So Fixe comes from a place of, if you do a box food delivery service like Blue Apron or HelloFresh, Freshly, etc.
Yeah.
it takes millions of dollars to get that off the ground, even to get your first sale out, because you have to have a fulfillment center, you have to have a supply chain. Months before you sell that produce, you have to be negotiating with the farmers on how much you're going to buy, and then the farmers have to allocate it out. You have to prepay for a lot of it. So it is a very difficult business, and there's a lot of food that goes bad, that goes to waste. There was a company called Maple that went out of business on the East Coast. They were based out of there, and they were losing 27 cents on the dollar in food waste.
Wow.
So every dollar that they spent, 27 cents was food that was thrown away or spoiled. So the big reason why I think, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the big reasons I think from a business perspective the world needs Fixe is we have this amazing infrastructure. Most people don't know about grocery delivery. Most people don't know that billions of dollars have been invested into creating really good delivery options. Right now, less than 5% of Americans have their groceries delivered. And there are so many reasons why that number should be higher. Think about how close the grocery store is to you. Maybe it's 2 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now think about how most Americans tend to go to the grocery store at the same time.
Oh.
So now you're looking for a parking spot. Now you're waiting in line. Now you're walking through this rat maze of temptation, right?
Yeah.
And it makes more sense in terms of, now look at Amazon and how they do fulfillment. And I think that the whole game in grocery has changed radically from both technology, from investment, from innovation. But Amazon purchasing Whole Foods about 1.5 years ago was massive.
Well, another thing a person might say, listening to you right now, will be like, well, shoot, I do the online order, and then I just pull up and pick it up.
Yeah.
But they don't have a nutritionist and somebody that's putting
meal
together.
plan. Yeah. So I think that if you're a really smart, really well-educated person, and you went, I don't want Fixe to make a couple bucks, I want to just copy what they do, I think that you could do it every week. And it's going to sound high, but I think this is right. I think if you put about 8 hours, into planning, because we're even doing load balancing. So let me explain what load balancing is for a second. So if we have these recipes, like 3 or 4 recipes, and it's saying 14 ounces of chicken or whatever, we're looking at the individual grocery stores and going, okay, these are the increments they sell chicken in, and then we're adjusting the recipes based on the increments so there's as little waste as possible. That waste would be leftovers. It wouldn't really go bad, but it does dramatically affect the price at the end of it. So let's say let's say you go on, and I'll give you a way you could copy it. Go on allrecipes.com, grab 3 recipes that are hashtagged keto, right? Then just throw them in your basket. When you do that, if you didn't take the time to go, okay, well, what are my proteins? What are my carbs? Really balance the ingredients out. You're going to be buying dissimilar items, right? And so when you do that, you're going to have this massive leftover. There's going to be something you bought that was 16 ounces. You only used 4 ounces.
Yeah.
And so your average cost per meal goes up. So to replicate what we're doing, you would need to sit down with a pad and pen, and you need to be good at it, and you need to have all these resources. And I think if you spend about 8 hours of time, including going and getting the food and picking it up and putting the order in, but the grocery stores, the way their websites are set up, it's the same as the physical location. They want to hit you with that ice cream ad right when you're at the end of the cart. They want, if you search for chicken products, they're going to hide the cheapest one. They're going to show you the Tyson brand or whatever, which is being promoted. It's the same business model. It's how do we get people to spend as much and buy as much volume as possible. And our business model is almost agnostic to that. We're a data company, because once we build, let's say it takes us 60 hours to get the perfect 1 week of keto meal plan, and to input that into an ordering system and to get it set up, we could serve that to 5 million people. And that 60 hours is going to help 5 million people.
That's really interesting.
So if we're only we don't have to make $50 a week off of you. We don't have to make even $10 a week off of you. That's still, it scales. And then eventually, there's what the model is today and the way that we do the service right now. But my vision for it is more similar to an Amazon. So you find 2 or 3 national grocers, I won't name which ones I think would be good, but there's a couple that I think are good. And then you offer them fulfillment partnerships to where instead of a third-party delivery company doing the delivery, now our drivers are doing the delivery because we have 400, 500 customers in a city. If we had 400, 500 customers in Dallas, it would make us more money to have our own drivers do the delivery. And we would have a scheduled route. So we know that. So we have a way to fulfill it right now where we make a little bit of money. And this is how Amazon ran. Amazon was barely profitable for more than a decade. Sometimes they lost money because it was all about growth. So we have a way to get to, I think, particularly high revenue, but not necessarily high profit. Then we have another business model that can come after that, which is kind of the evolution, which does have good margins on it. Once you own the distribution, you could match grocery price and make 30-40% margin.
Wow.
And that model exists. That's what the grocery store's making, which is normal. I mean, there's a lot of products that are higher margin.
But I was on live Instagram a couple nights ago, and on my Fit Keto Cowboy Instagram, talking to some people, and I brought up Fixe Food and kind of explained some of the stuff with them, and I didn't know where this person was, really asking me a lot of questions, and I kind of assumed that they were just here in Dallas, and they were like, well, man, that sounds great, but I live in California.
No problem. Yeah, we deliver it.
And that's what I wasn't for sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure. Go look on the website. I think they can deliver all over the nation. Yeah. So how in the world are you able to? Because those prices fluctuate from different city to city. Yep. I mean, what you have going on and your data team back there and the Excel sheet that's going on there has got to be insane.
We're like, you can't say, oh, I want to build $1 billion company, right? And then not go tackle a big problem.
Yeah.
Like that. So it is, everyone eats. So this stuff relates to everybody. Yeah. There's lots of grocery stores. There's lots of food options. There's lots of lifestyles. We're looking at doing, adding Mediterranean.
Yeah, I think that's a great. People that I have that are like, all right, I'm done with keto now. I want to go. I send them to Mediterranean. Yeah, that's where I go.
So we want to, the vision I have for this, and this is something I think that we could talk about off air too. But even on, I want. It isn't just Fixe, right? So we're talking to some people right now where it could be I'll use John Smith because that's, I think, the most obvious fictional name, right?
Yeah.
But if John Smith is a respected, keto instructional person, okay, John, let's work with you. Let's get 4 weeks of plans, and then let's have John Smith on the website. You can eat with John Smith. I'll give a celebrity that we're not talking to, but which fits the vision of where I see this. I think 2 years from now, a year and a half from now, that's about the range where we'd probably build it out. I see Fixe as very much like the Netflix for food. And so from a psychology standpoint, this is kind of where my expertise comes in. Not that, I'm sure just looking at you that you know more about living the keto lifestyle and lifting weights than I do. I'm not a novice, but I trust that you're the expert, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at understanding macro habit formation. That's where my study is, like the systems that I work on, that's what it relates to. So if you can take, I have to go to the gym 4 times this week, and you can flip that psychologically to, I get to go to the gym 4 times this week, instead of I have to do this workout. I get that endorphin rush, instead of, right? If you can flip that
mindset.
So I think that one of the big hurdles for us, or one of the big opportunities for us, is if we have Guy Ferrari, and again, totally, we're not talking to Guy Ferrari, it's just an example.
Yeah.
But if we have a guy and he is talking about how to do healthy barbecue, and now you're watching 2-3 hours of video content where he cooks with you, and the food is there, and it's approved by him, and the recipes were made by him, and it's also healthy, right? And he might not be the healthiest example, but he's a personality that people know.
Yeah.
Now you've taken work, which is time in the kitchen, which people feel like they have the time. They're watching 5 hours of Netflix, but they don't have the time for 2 hours in the kitchen. Now you're taking that from, I have to cook, to, I get to cook with Guy.
You are so correct. And even if it not the celebrity part of it, but when my wife and I got into learning keto recipes and cooking our own stuff, I actually, because I hate cooking. I'll barbecue all day long, but I'm not somebody that's going to make things in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten where I enjoy doing those recipes because I want to see how they turn out, and so it's not so much of a chore now. So the mindset has changed and flipped to where I'm like, on Friday nights I get to go cook that to see what it's like for my wife, and I enjoy it. And then if you add a aspect of a celebrity celebrity that's going to do it,
or
you know,
influence.
with you.
A celebrity is, the goal,
Yeah.
but, influencer, right? Like somebody who, it's not just food, it's lifestyle. Go back to what we call at the beginning, lifestyle grocery delivery. We know that there's all these things that go along with being someone who lives keto.
Yeah.
We know there's all these things. The number one reason that I think people are joining plant-based diets is for ethical reasons. It's not for, health reasons. There's a lot of health reasons for doing a plant-based diet, but when you see the explosion of that community, these are people who want to identify a certain way. They want to live a certain way. So how do we help that? We're the tool. We're the help. We're not the solution. You already have the solution. When you come to us, very, very rarely would you be discovering keto. You've never heard about keto before, and then you hear about it on our website.
Yeah.
We're not going to convince you to go paleo or go keto. And I will say this for a second. I think it's something that's needed in the marketplace, because if you do a search right now on like how to live healthy, or you do a search on like how to lose weight, everyone is trying to sell you something, and there is, even if it's well-intentioned, there's an agenda behind it, right?
Yeah.
So, the keto people want you to eat keto, the plant-based people want you to eat plant-based. And so there's a little bit of confirmation bias there, where it can be overwhelming. If you're someone who doesn't know that, if your diet has been pizza and burgers, and then you start researching it, and then everyone looks convincing. Because here's the thing, they can all be right. Like they can all be right. Like there's not one way to live healthy.
That's absolutely true.
So it can be overwhelming when you have dozens, if not hundreds, of people saying do this diet or live this way, and you're like, well, which one do I choose? So I think what Fixe can be is by us taking a step back from that choice, from the lifestyle choice. We're like, hey, look, that's up to you. We don't have an agenda. We don't make more money.
You
or
can
promote.
try this one if it works for you.
You can try all of them,
that one, and then find out what works best.
Our job is to make sure that when you pick an option, it's the best that option could be.
Yeah.
And then the rest is up for you to decide. But I think that's important. I think that's kind of missing. I really enjoy it. I don't feel like Fixes work. Like we were talking about coaching earlier off air, and we were talking about coaching's a hard life. But if you love the game, right? Like it's not work. Like it's a lot of time, it's a lot of sacrifice, but it's not work. I've been able to really get in touch with my body since I started this.
Yeah.
This week I'm eating a plant-based meal plan. I'm not a plant-based guy, but for a week I'm living like a plant-based person.
Yeah, trying it out.
Yeah, and it's a game,
Yeah.
It's this is how I.
Do you ever see you guys, because now the whole carnivore diet is out in meal planning? Do you think you'll ever see yourself developing that? It might be a higher cost because we understand it's all meat and eggs, but do you see that possibly?
I think I'll answer two things I heard there. So one, I don't know enough about the carnivore diet right now. I've heard some conflicting things. Yeah. Right? So I don't have a judgment. Just I'm basically one of those people who's hearing about it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And when I say first time, I've heard months. Obviously it comes across. So I don't think it's in our first order of operations.
Yeah.
The stuff that I
think bringing Mediterranean's better, but
yes. There's a lot of people have been eating that way for a long time.
Yeah.
So we have understanding of how it affects health. The biggest thing for me, the most important thing, is I don't want to have an option up there that ends up being unhealthy. Right? So you lose 50 pounds and then your liver shuts down. Yeah. That's going to be our biggest roadblock. So once I've seen enough, and there's other people that help as well, but once we've seen enough research and once we've seen enough statistics to go, okay, this is healthy, this isn't,
I think what's going to happen with that, because I know a lot of people that are doing that, I think that is going to evolve kind of the same way that keto has evolved as well. Like I said before, people were just eating all red meat and cheese and bacon all the time and now keto has evolved to where you're figuring out, okay, MCT, avocados, fish that's where you're getting your good fats, grass-fed butter, that's a good fat. And so even with the proteins that you eat, what I tell my clients is if I looked at your whole week of with food.
Yeah.
85% of it needs to come from clean meats like fish, chicken, turkey.
Yep.
That's where your proteins need to come from, and then a zero-carb protein shake, whether if it's a whey or a pea protein, depends on how your body is affected by whey. And then the last 15 can be the red, can be, beef, steak, bacon, that type of deal. So I'm more of the clean keto kind of person, and I think that's where the carnivore is eventually going to go, to where it's less red, but they're going to be a lot more chicken and, more meat-based, healthier meats that way.
What I love
maybe
about every part of what we're talking about right now is the entire conversation within a community, keto, carnivore, whatever, is how do we optimize this choice?
Yeah.
Whereas if you drop out of that bubble, and I'm using bubble in a good sense here, right? That bubble of safety and education. You drop out of that and go back in the real world, and you really think McDonald's is trying to optimize?
No.
Right? No. Like the perfect state of ketosis? No. Like it's no. So, whether it's a 92% solution or it's a 96% solution, like that's where, and this goes back to, we have to be good, but as a service, I already know that we're better than what most people can do for themselves. So then how do we keep getting better? If I can make a service that improves your life as an expert, as a nutritionist, as a trainer, if your life is improved by Fixe, then there's not a single person.
Absolutely.
Right? So
I can say it has.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. But we want to get better too, right? And so that's the journey. It's like, how do we become an AI? And this is way down the line. There's a joke in software that says that if your code is written in PowerPoint, then it's AI. And if it's written in Python, then it's machine learning. And the joke there is that
it's like, woo, man.
Well, the joke, Python is a coding language.
Okay.
It's a framework. And PowerPoint is just a slide deck.
Yeah.
So the joke is that AI isn't real. It's real in the sense that it's coming, but so few people are actually working on it. But everyone's like, oh, we put this AI into our company. You didn't really. Like, you just have a deck that says you're going to do it later. But I do think the future, where we're talking 3, 5, 6 years down the line, is having an AI that thinks about your lifestyle. All of it, like the gym that you go to, and ways to incentivize you to go to the gym a little more. Where you get your food from, and ways to incentivize you to, be less reliant on the 1 a.m. Postmates delivery. Right? The amount of times you take naps. Who's really thinking? I mean, are we as a larger society really thinking about that? I think from what I understand about the health benefits of naps, I think major corporations should be structuring naps into, and that sounds crazy. It sounds offbeat.
Because the American way, you're supposed to be work.
It sounds crazy until you look at some professional athletes, and you mentioned LeBron James earlier, and he has scheduled naps.
He does,
and it's a very normal thing for an NBA player to have scheduled naps. So let's run this back for a second.
Now the other person may say, well, yeah, they're an athlete. They're pushing their body to that limit. But sometimes even just pushing your mind to that limit.
I'll say, if you think that the NBA is just a body thing, then why is Dwight Howard bad? Right? Because he's got one of the best bodies in the NBA. Yeah. No, but any high-level sport, your mental function is paramount.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between... I'm just picking random NBA players to mock or make fun of. But, the reason that LeBron James is LeBron James and Jeff Green is Jeff Green, besides the heart murmur, which I'm completely, ignoring that, is Jeff Green, his basketball IQ is poor and his competitive drive is low. Very similar body to LeBron, very similar raw skill set. Yeah. And over 10 years, that intellect, that IQ, right, that makes a big difference. So when I say the naps, right, if it works for pro athletes 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some kind of benefit from it. And if pro athletes are doing it, and I'll say 9 times out of 10, right? So take the power balance bracelets might be the 1 out of 10 exception. But those guys are not doing a lot accidentally. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of analytics. So, I really look forward to a day where we have some type of AI that's helping us live our lifestyle. We say to the AI, I want to be healthy. it's more important for me to be, and people will probably use words like skinny than strong, or strong than skinny, right? And then the AI interprets that, and it says, okay, here's what you're going to eat, here's where you're going to train. And you still got to do the work, but it's so much easier with a plan. So that's the kind of stuff we're working on.
That's interesting.
And then we donate.
I was just getting ready to bring that up. So talk about that, because I think that is really impressive.
So it's a program that we're still evolving, but we've donated a little over 100 meals so far, and the number's going to go up. But what I really want to emphasize with the food donation,
but it's not just that; it's also you do like
education.
Utensils. I thought like you give them utensils and all kinds of stuff too.
We do, but the education part, I'm a big believer in the whole teach a man to fish idea.
Yeah.
So my goal for it, and I've actually tried to reach out to them locally. So there's a company based out of Dallas that is national called Tango Tab, and they approach the problem that we're trying to solve from a different angle. So the way that they are set up is when you go out to a restaurant and you order from that restaurant, part of your reservation fee goes towards meals that are prepped. It's usually sandwiches, something light, and then those are donated to like the needy, the homeless, and such.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good way of feeding people, but I think that the teaching people aspect is almost more important, because when we built Fixe, I built it, and you mentioned this earlier. So if you look at EBT, or you look at SNAP, or you look at WIC, those are usually set up at about $10 a day per person. And we have already built a product that the average person could live off of at $10 a day at full price. That's with us not, negotiating a discount for a charity.
Okay.
So the biggest barrier is not going to be, because that Fixe order, and this is really cool, we haven't talked about food deserts, but if you live in Highland Park, you have access to groceries, but you don't have access to an Oak Cliff. If you're ordering from Fixe, it doesn't matter if you're in Oak Cliff, because we're delivering it. So you could be a 15-mile radius, and we could give the person in Oak Cliff access to the same groceries as the person who lives in Highland Park.
Interesting.
So it really is, it's like from a social impact perspective, it's big. So, okay, we know we can get the groceries there. What's that next thing? Well, if the person has never cooked before, if we're donating this food, the food is not enough. It's the education. It's saying, okay, well, you've never cooked before. We have to have, whether it's video content or whether it's, and this is, look, we're not reinventing the wheel. It looks like Meals on Wheels now. I'm trying to put together like a volunteer system to where these people would volunteer, Fixe would provide the food and the education, and the people would cook with them to make the experience less scary. Because if you've never cooked before, that's a daunting task.
Well, maybe I can help you guys out and talk to my client Stephen Piles, and maybe he's a celebrity chef, and maybe he can come down and do a little cooking with your guys' food and stuff.
That would be amazing. Yes.
That way you got your celebrity and you got somebody that knows what the hell they're doing.
I would love to talk to Stephen about that. We have a couple. I've never met him.
He works a lot with the North Texas Food Bank.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's really big into helping in that aspect.
Man, I'll call the North Texas Food Bank. I've been trying to work with the North Texas Food Bank.
Have you?
Yeah, they need to holler at me. They move slow. They're good program.
Definitely,
good program.
Definitely, yeah.
But they move slow. Let me just.
Well, that's
I move fast.
Yeah. I understand totally. I respect even more today now that I've learned. I think you need to share a little bit more on your website about how your system really runs. Because it's really interesting.
Thank you.
I definitely applaud you on how you are doing everything. And then also at the same time, it really seems like you're not doing it for the big dollars. And maybe it is just right now, maybe it is later on scaling, but you do want to make a good living. But at the same time, you could easily just be the same as everybody else and probably make big money right now.
The purpose, or I think if you hear someone talk long enough, you figure out like what their motivations are. I do think Fixe could be big. I think it could make a lot of money, but that's not like where I'm coming from with it. Just like the kid that starts playing.
I think that's what makes it big, though.
Yeah.
That's the whole seed that people see behind that and support. Even here at the gym, it's not a group of people that own this place. So everybody sees me here working my ass off with the gym and seeing things. And just for instance, we're putting in new AC and people are like giving donations to help me out to get the AC and stuff. Yeah. And so when they see someone like you that is the the meaning behind what you're trying to do is really genuine, people are going to stand by that brand and try to help grow it. So I hope people listening, I see 2 or 3 people that were asking questions. Let's see, can it be delivered to Lafayette, Indiana?
What's the zip code?
Rob, what's the zip code? He just wrote it again. Yes, give the site. So the site is Fixe,
Fixe, food.com.
Food.com.
And then what was the zip code for Lafayette?
It is 47909.
47909.
Yeah. He's checking it out right now.
Yeah, we can deliver there.
He says yes. So Rob, you've got an opportunity to have just regular clean eating. You got an opportunity to have vegetarian, which I know you're not going to do a vegetarian.
You got to use what was the Myler Flex code? What was your affiliate code?
Myler Flex. Yeah, that's my
Flex.
affiliate code. So you get $5 off your first order.
Yeah.
And then also you've got keto, which I know you're trying. I got somebody on Instagram right now watching, and he's trying to tap in a little bit more of that keto, and then also the paleo meal planning as well.
Yep.
So, and then let's see, Alexa. Oh yeah, we already answered. That was Fixe Food. Oh yeah, your buddy just went ahead and put it on there in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Rohit.
Good. Yeah, that's the one I talk to all the time.
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
He's a really good kid.
What's going on? Well, man, I think have we wrapped everything up? Have you gotten everything out that you want to talk about?
I really appreciate you bringing me out here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hoop. We're going to be friends. So.
Definitely. He played at a D3 school in Arkansas, and
barely.
So yeah, we're going to. I was showing him a place where everybody hoops down here in Dallas, and we'll get some games in, get some run in.
I love it, and then we'll watch Luka play next year, and
there you go.
Hopefully, Kristaps doesn't break both of his hands in a bar fight.
Exactly. Well, man, thanks again for coming down here, and everybody, we're back to a normal schedule, so I'll be back next week with another Myler Flex podcast, and then also, let's see, I feel like I got something else for you guys. Guess not. That's it. That's all I got for you. So until next time, keep repping and flexing. We'll see you guys.
Hey guys, do me a big favor and go follow Myler Flex on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want more videos of the podcast or workout videos, follow the Myler Flexing Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Till next time, keep repping and flexing.